This episode is brought to you by Awaken Your Wild Woman, a guided journey to reclaim your intuition, creativity, and sovereign soul. Whether you're at the beginning of a new chapter or deep in transformation, this book meets you where you are. If you've been feeling a pull to go deeper between the episodes, Awaken Your Wild Woman is waiting for you. You can find the link in the show notes below or go to my website at sarahdiop.com. You're listening to The Wild Woman with Sarah Diop. Remembering your wild, one episode at a time. Welcome to our May Touchstone. So 2 weeks ago, I sat down with Edith Wolek for our Wild Woman Spotlight episode. And somewhere in our conversation, she said something that stopped me on my tracks. She started talking about how women tend to compartmentalize their lives. We put ourselves into pigeonholes, into separate categories. This is my mother self. This is my business self. This is my friend self. This is my partner self. We keep them in boxes. And then we move from box to box to box, thinking that's how we're supposed to show up. But here's the thing that Edith made me realize during that episode. You're not a collection of compartments. You're a whole person, a living, breathing, feeling, thinking, creating, loving, messy, and beautiful whole. And when you try to split yourself into pieces, when you hide your motherhood in the boardroom, which I have done, or hide your ambition at the dinner table, which I have also done, you're not protecting yourself. You're fragmenting yourself. When I think about this idea of compartmentalizing, I was reflecting on if I still do this, because I've really tried very hard not to. For me, I can tell when I'm starting to put myself in compartments when I get quiet. I'm an introverted person. I tend to try not to put myself in situations where I don't feel overly comfortable anymore. I did a lot in the past because I am a recovering and constantly working on people pleaser. However, I realized that if I've gotten really quiet in a situation and I'm not talkative, that's a signal for me to understand that I'm doing that. Because if I'm not talking, I'm not trying to connect, which means I'm acting the way I think I'm supposed to, rather than showing up as my authentic self. That was a nice reflection for me because I do try very hard to show up as my whole self. So in my own life, these are the moments I'm going to look out for and the signs that I have fallen into the trap again. Edith's work is all about helping women create humanity-centered personal brands that reflect who you are, not who you think you're supposed to be. And that's what holistic living means to me. It means not silencing your intuition because you're in a professional setting, not hiding your creativity because you're in a serious role. How about this one? Not pretending your exhaustion doesn't exist because you're supposed to be strong. Not leaving your personal life at the door because you've walked into work. It means showing up as all of you, everywhere, because that's what authenticity actually looks like. And here's the beautiful thing. When you stop compartmentalizing, you stop carrying so much because you're no longer pretending. You're no longer performing. You're just being. And that's what this month is about. Being whole, being integrated, being wild. So this May, I invite you to ask yourself, where have I been splitting myself into pieces? Where can I start showing up as one whole integrated woman? What are the signs that I'm not doing that? Now, let's talk about the astrology of May, because the cosmos is supporting this theme of integration in a big way. May 2026 is a highly transformative month, heavily influenced by Pluto stationing retrograde, a shift towards Taurus energy, and rapid changes in communication as Uranus operates in Gemini. What I love about this month's astrology is the contrast. We begin with intense, deep Scorpio energy, asking us to transform. Then we move into earthly, grounded Taurus energy, asking us to stabilize. And by month's end, we're in curious, social Gemini energy, asking us to connect and communicate. That's holistic living right there. Depth, stability, and connection, all in 1 month. This month is also an interesting month because we have 2 full moons that fall in the same month, which isn't very common. The first full moon is May 1st, and the full moon's in Scorpio. So that's intense emotional peak, initiating deeper transformation. May 2nd is when Mercury enters Taurus. Communication becomes grounded, practical, and slower paced. On May 6th, Pluto stations retrograde at 5 degrees Aquarius. Pluto retrograde taps down on the passionate energy and gives you a chance to adjust to transformations that have already been made. Over the next few months, it'll allow you to integrate the changes that have been unfolding, which I feel like is perfect for our theme of holistic integration. And that will last until October 2026. Then on May 14th, the Mercury Cazimi, which is 23 degrees Taurus, brings a powerful moment of clarity. May 16th is our new moon in Taurus. Focus on new beginnings in finance, comfort, stability, and personal values. On May 17th, Mercury enters Gemini. Communication becomes faster, more curious, and varied. On May 18th, Mars enters Taurus and Venus enters Cancer. So what we've got for May 18th, we have a shift towards calculated, steady action, but also emotional nurturing becomes central in relationships. May 20th, the Sun enters Gemini. Gemini season brings intellectual curiosity and social interaction. Uranus entered Gemini on April 25th, and that continues to influence through May. This transit brings rapid changes in technology, communication, and learning. And then on May 22nd, Uranus Cazimi marks a powerful awakening moment. Sudden insights about freedom, innovation, and how to express your truth. All right, so let's get into more detail about the moon dates for May. The month begins with a full moon in Scorpio on May 1st, today, the sign of transformation, depth, and emotional intensity. Scorpio doesn't stay on the surface. This full moon asks you to go deep. This is a good time for transformation or to get to the heart of something important, but you need to make sure you don't get lost in it. The theme of this full moon is letting go of what no longer serves you, emotionally purging, and deep healing. Ask yourself, what am I ready to release that I've been holding on to for far too long? Then on May 16th, we have our new moon in Taurus. The Taurus new moon helps you stabilize, improves your security, and makes you more confident. You could get access to new resources or improve your financial situation. Overall, you can get more practical and grounded. This is followed by a Mercury Cazimi on May 14th, a powerful moment of mental clarity where something you began weeks ago can finally come to fruition. The theme of this new moon is new beginnings in finance, self-worth, comfort, and stability. So this new moon is asking you, what foundation am I ready to lay? What truly feels valuable to me? And finally, the second full moon is on May 31st. The month ends with a Sagittarius full moon. The Sagittarius full moon tends to be a lighter, happier full moon, and you can be more positive about emotional subjects and situations. You can also be more passionate about your beliefs. The theme of this full moon is big picture goals, adventure, truth, and expanding your horizons. This full moon is asking you, where am I ready to grow? What belief am I ready to stand behind? So let's move right into the ritual for this May touchstone. The ritual for this month is a nature-based manifestation ritual, intentions into the earth or water. And with spring being here, the world is growing, blooming, awakening, and this month I'm going to invite you to take your intentions outside. You have two options. Choose which one calls to you. The water release ritual. What you'll need for this ritual is a natural water source, so a stream, pond, river, lake, ocean, some sort of water source outside, and small natural items that I want you to go out into nature to pick. So like flowers, leaves, petals, things like that. Anything that moves you and you're drawn to in nature, preferably one that floats. And what you're going to do for this ritual is you're going to go to that natural water source, gather your flowers, leaves, or petals, And one by one, release those offerings into the water. With each release, speak an intention or manifestation for this season of growth. As an example, you might say, I release the intention of peace into the water. May it flow into being. Or I release the intention of abundance into the water. May it flow into being. Whatever you're trying to create, this is what you place into the water. Then what you do is watch your offerings float away. Trust that the water carries your intentions with them. If the water ritual hasn't connected with you, another option is the seed planting ritual. And what you'll need is seeds, flowers, herbs, vegetables, whatever works for you. You'll need soil. So it either could be a pot that you put it on your balcony, or if you have a garden space, you can put it outside. And obviously you need water because you'll need to water your seeds. So what you're going to do is choose the seeds that represent what you want to grow. Maybe you pick sunflowers for confidence, or herbs for healing, or flowers for joy. Pick the seeds that move you and kind of align with what you're looking to manifest. Hold the seeds in your hand and set your intention into the seeds. Then plant the seeds. As you cover the earth, say, I plant these seeds with the intention of peace, or I plant these seeds with the intention of joy. Water them gently. As you water them, say, I nurture this intention as I nurture these seeds. Over the coming weeks, tend to your seeds. Each time you water them, reconnect with that intention. Feel what you're trying to manifest while you water the seeds. With spring in the air, I thought that the health tip that might be most aligned is, I'm calling it the spring cleansing. So May is a wonderful time for a cleanse. It's just before the summer arrives, so all its socializing, barbecues, and outdoor gatherings. I personally have a soft spot for cleanses. Back in my Whole Foods Market days, I was the whole body team leader, and I loved exploring the different cleansing programs. Anytime any of the supplement companies came in with a new cleanse, I was the first in line to try it out. There's just something so satisfying about hitting that reset button. Here are a few of my favorites that you could pick up at your local health food store. I'll also put links to them in the show notes just so you can see what they look like. So my go-to cleanse, now that I'm not in the industry, is Renew Life Cleanse Smart. It's super easy. You just take the pills and follow the diet. It's gentle. It's a 7-day herbal cleanse, and it's really great for beginners. You don't have to think through it. So that's one I often go back to. Another cleanse that I really love is Fluorescence. It's a traditional herbal formula based on a Native American recipe. You could either buy it in herbal form and make your own tea, or it comes already in a tea form. I usually get it in already made tea form, just because it's simpler, but I've done both. This particular cleanse is gentle and deeply supportive. It cleanses at a cellular level rather than the Renew Life is more like herbs that support different organs. What made me think of offering this as the health tip for May is I was talking to a friend who I used to work at another health food store years ago, even before Whole Foods, when I had just got my holistic nutrition diploma. She was telling me she was doing the Wild Rose Cleanse, which is a 12-day herbal detox. And she swears by it. She does it every year. She loves it. It's her absolute favorite. So you could also look into that one. That might be something that you resonate to. And then finally, an elimination diet. I actually recommend doing an elimination diet while cleansing anyway. Taking out any sugars and fried food and all those things that we know just aren't great for us is always a good idea while you're cleansing. Even with these kits, they recommend an elimination diet. However, you can just do the elimination diet. A lot of times naturopaths put their patients on elimination diets. But I do have to warn you, sometimes the elimination diet technique tends to last a little bit longer than expected. So I would suggest reach out to your naturopath or connect with a practitioner from your local health food store to determine what cleanse or type of cleansing might be best for you. Here's a couple tips from someone who's done a lot of cleansing. Is that oftentimes when you start a cleanse, the first 3 days are not so great. I used to always get a headache. I would feel not great, tired. Sometimes my digestion wouldn't be great. But then what you'll find after the first 3 or 4 days, then you start to feel great. But what I found after a week, you think, oh, I could cleanse forever. I feel amazing. And you do start to feel amazing. I never actually have kept on doing it after, because there's always something comes up, and because you're not actually for me anyway, I'm not formally cleansing. If someone like offered me a piece of cake, it's like, yeah, of course. But while I'm cleansing, I'm like, oh no, I'm doing a cleanse. Like I won't want to disrupt the cleanse. It just feels so incredible afterwards. May isn't the ideal time to do it, in my opinion. All right, let's move to my favorite part of the month. We'll do a collective tarot and ancestor reading. And we're going to do as we normally do, the current situation, actions, and what the outcome is. And once again, it's a collective reading, so take what resonates and leave the rest. All right, so our current situation for the tarot is the Ace of Swords, which implies out of conflict, some new creative viewpoint will emerge. The mental powers are awakened, and this means change in one's life. The old order is threatened and conflicts are bound to arise. Ultimately, a resolution will be possible, but there is inevitability of collision, struggle before peace is in sight. And then we also pulled for the ancestor card, the Sage. Be devoted and committed. Be willing to go the whole road and back again. This will allow you to be the best you can possibly be. Devotion is a powerful energy. Right now, angels and ancestors want you to acknowledge how committed you are to your growth. Your continued dedication to this aspect of your life has been recognized, and your understanding that you are not only a body, but also a soul is all you need to continue growing and expanding. The energy of oneness is offering itself to you now, and it's important that you take some time to integrate it all so that you can be supported and guided by it. This is what the divine wants for you. Make a note of experiences or perhaps teachers making themselves known to you at this time, because you are going to share those teachings one day too. The action to be taken, we got the Judgment card. When it appears, it's a time when the rewards of past efforts will appear. It's the Karma card. This is a period of summing up, a realization of what we have been doing and where we, ourselves, have created the future that now awaits us. This is an ambiguous card. It implies a disturbing confrontation with all of our self-betrayals. The reward is not always a pleasant one. However, it is time for you to answer for your journey. The time of harvest has arrived, and the mistakes and creative efforts of the past are gathered together to form your future. Whatever occurs during this time, the Judgment card is the end of a chapter of your life. So it's different from the Death card. It's not implying like a mourning or grief. It's more like a clear perception of the extent to which we have been able to be true to ourselves, if that makes sense. And for the ancestor cards, we got Mere Guardian. Take time to reflect. Take some time to reflect on your strengths and challenges and how far you've come. Recognize your gifts. You are a beautiful being who has surmounted so many challenges and expanded in so many ways. Your ancestors are now guiding you to take inventory of your life, to take the time to note all of your recent experiences, the challenges you have surmounted, the strengths you have developed, and the lessons you have learned. They want you to reflect on your strengths, in particular, those aspects of yourself that you feel you have not acknowledged, especially the aspects of yourself that have not been acknowledged by others. Offer yourself approval where it's due, and know that when you give yourself credit, others will be able to as well. That sums up the Judgment card as well. So we really want to, our actions right now is reflecting on how our past makes up our current present. And then karma, really, once again, it's really about karma, right? 2 cards fell out for the action, so I'm going to read both. You also got the Winter card for the ancestor cards. So winter is take care of your needs. Do everything you need to be at your best. Then move beyond your fears and limitations. You have the opportunity to move beyond your fears. Although you may feel in the dark, get comfortable with being in the unknown and trust that the light within you will sustain you through what may seem like a challenging process. Ask yourself what you need to do to feel supported and alive. You may uncover something from your past that you have buried deep. Know that when you unearth it and shed light on it, you create a space for miracles. You may feel like a lone wolf right now, but it's time for you to be the alpha. And now for the outcome. In the tarot for the outcome, we got the Two of Cups. So the Two of Cups is the beginning of a relationship, basically. It can also suggest a reconciliation of a relationship if some of you have had some difficulty or a separation. It also can imply not just romantic relationship, it can also be business partners. Maybe you signed a contract or have started a project, because cups are about emotions usually, but the Two of Cups implies a relationship. Will start. And then for the ancestors cards, we got the Shield Maiden as the final. Make plans and focus. Have a plan or strategy in place before moving forward. Taking some time to assess what your next steps will be. All great warriors have a plan. You are a sensitive being, and if you are not prepared for the tasks you are taking on, you could end up feeling exposed and helpless. The ancestor guidance that is coming to you right now is a reminder that you have a warrior's heart and that you have it within you to be more prepared and focused than you have been recently. So have a strategy in place and then let your guides support you as you move forward. Well, that brings us to the close of our May Touchstone. Remember what we have learned with Edith. You are not a collection of compartments. You are a whole, wild, integrated being. So this May, stop splitting yourself into pieces. Show up as all of you everywhere. Let your motherhood inform your business. Let your creativity inform your relationships. Let your exhaustion be real. And let rest be sacred. Take your intentions to the water or to the soil. Consider a gentle spring cleanse. And whatever you do, don't shrink. And share this with a woman who needs permission to stop compartmentalizing. Take gentle care of yourself this May, and I'll meet you back here soon. Thank you for listening to The Wild Woman with Sarah Diop. Remembering you're wild, one episode at a time. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and review. Every little bit helps. And I'll see you next time.